Hello, I'm so excited to be saying this. Welcome back to the preview on Fulhamish. This weekend, we kick off our season against Brighton, and we're just going to jump straight into it today. I'm joined by Josh from Together BHA. Josh, how are you doing?
I am very well, thank you. We're recording on Tuesday morning. It's set to be like 33 degrees, so it's going to be an interesting day because I don't like being too hot. What about you?
Yeah, I'm meant to be going for a run at lunchtime, but we'll see whether that happens or not. Not in this heat. What I am mostly hopeful is that the weather holds out until Saturday, and that we have a beautiful day by the south coast. But yeah, really, really excited for this season opener. It feels like the perfect one for a hot August Saturday. I really can't wait. Last time we spoke, about 6 months ago, before this fixture last season, we were both locked in this 3-horse race for 8th. Who was going to finish there in the Premier League, who was maybe going to get Europa Conference League. Fulham ended up managing to finish 4th in that 3-horse race. Brighton did finish 8th, but obviously it wasn't enough as Palace won the cup. I wanted to ask you how you felt about the end of last season, how you felt things had gone, and what are your expectations really coming into this new season?
Yeah, it's a shame 8th counting for nothing in the end, right? Like we were all chasing a prize that actually didn't exist. But yeah, I think the end of last season we finished on a very high note. But it was a season of like the most classic ups and downs you can get, right? Like 7-0 at Forest, and then beating some of the big teams like quite comfortably in different results, getting the bogey team off our back in yourselves and actually getting a win against you for once was big. It was very much a strange season. In strange circumstances, right? Because De Zerbi left in like a weird cloud. We hired a 31-year-old who'd never managed above the second league in the German Bundesliga, and we kind of spent almost £200 million on players, which we've not done ever, and then had to kind of integrate them all. So it was a weird season from the word go. And the entire result setup was weird. Like it was just very up and down, consistently inconsistent. So I think coming into this season, I think obviously the rivalry between us and Palace, it's made a lot of fans hyper aware that we need to start competing for trophies because there's not really much point in winning, like being spreadsheet champions, like when we're not winning anything, right? So I think that's really on a lot of Brighton fans' minds this year. We want to make cup finals and challenge for Europe with more expectation this year than last.
Yeah, definitely. I would hate to be, if I'm honest, in Brighton fans' position in terms of losing out that 8th place European spot to your rivals. Getting it because they won the FA Cup. Like if that happened and Brentford won the FA Cup and meant that we didn't get Europa Conference League, I don't think a football ground would be seeing me again for a long time. There would be a lot of processing to do. So yeah, I do feel for Brighton fans a lot in that sense. If I'm honest, it must be very, a challenging one for sure. Let's talk a little bit about what's been going on in pre-season then and in the transfer market for Brighton. For Fulham, there's like absolutely no news to report. We've signed a backup goalkeeper and that's it. But I was having a look through some of Brighton's pre-season business and some pretty headline signings. Tommy Watson is the one that I think most people would have heard of. Obviously, really famous because he scored that winning goal in the Championship playoff final. But I also saw that Brighton has spent 30 million on a new centre forward. He is only 18, but do you think he's going to be making an impact this season?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Tommy Watson, like we signed him in January and everyone's just like, okay. And then he bangs in that goal in the 95th minute and everyone's like, oh, like classic Brighton signing. And it's like, yeah, it is now, but like it was a weird one. He actually hasn't featured in preseason at all. So I don't know what the future lies there for, like for Tom Watson. I don't know whether he'll go out on loan or whether we're just going to integrate him very slowly. The Greek kid, Kostolos, or Babis is his nickname. He is a very weird one. He seems to be able to be more of a João Pedro type player in that he will play 9-10, move out wide. He's more of a flexible player as opposed to like a Welbeck, right? Like where he's going to be the fox in the box. Yeah, Olympiakos, he obviously had European football guaranteed, and he still came, which is lovely. His nickname across a lot of Greece and other areas that seem to know the kid is Babistuta. They liken him to Batistuta in a heavy way. Obviously, all those things sound very exciting. So we'll see. He's 18. He's been on the bench for a few of our preseason games and hasn't played. Hertzler has been very open on the fact that he's really keen on making sure that he comes in slowly and safely to the league. Do I think you'll see him against Fulham? No, not a chance in hell. He may make the bench, but I don't even think he will make the bench. But if he does, he isn't coming on. We may start seeing him closer to Christmas, I think. But it is an exciting signing. When Brighton are dropping £30 million on an 18-year-old, you know that you've got to prick your ears up and pay attention. So,
yeah, exactly. I mean, his age profile obviously does suggest he's not going to come in immediately. But yeah, perhaps 1 in 2 or 3 years that will be going for 150 million, be sort of talked about in the same league as those elite strikers. If Brighton's history is anything to go by. And talk to me a bit about your outgoings then. Obviously, Pedro for me is the headline one. But is there anyone else that you are really concerned about losing?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like, I think everyone in the fan base agreed that the 3 most vital players to keep this summer were Mitoma, Baleba, and Van Heck. And now there's rumours circulating around 2 of the 3, which is not great towards the end of the transfer window. But we've kept all 3 so far. I think we all knew João Pedro was going the minute he committed GBH at Brentford, and we just knew he was gone. His call up to Brazil was the worst thing that could have ever happened to us. He came back a totally different player and simply didn't want to be there. The good thing is we spent about £60+ million on new players this summer, and Pedro's paid for all of it. So that's great. Just to show the clown world of finances in football and how unbelievably unfair it is, Chelsea's semi-final win in the Club World Cup paid for Pedro. So, I mean, what a joke, right? What's the point? The prize money from one semi-final in the Club World Cup paid for João Pedro in full. It's pathetic. But yeah, we also lost Purvis Estepinian, which is also a big first name on the team sheet, starting 11 type player. He's obviously our left back and has been for the last couple of years. He went to AC Milan. But we have immediately replaced him with Maxim de Kuyper from Club Brugge. Very highly rated, a little bit older, 23, 24. So he's more out of the... He's an 18, and he's a very attacking, exciting left back. So Estepinian's absence is nowhere near as big of a worry for most because he's already came in and in pre-season he looks electric. So they're the 2.
Yeah. I mean, I always have really enjoyed watching Estepinian, and I'm pleased that we won't be facing him on Saturday, to be honest. And obviously, I think João Pedro, he scored the last minute penalty, and it was a penalty. Obviously, sort of a lot of players could have scored it last season, but that still slightly haunts me. So I am pretty glad we won't be seeing him. But there are a lot of players in that Brighton lineup that scare me, actually. So we'll turn our attention towards Saturday. Obviously, pre-season can only really tell us so much about what's actually going to happen when we make it onto the pitch in the first game of the season. But last season, Hertzler's Brighton, if I remember correctly, did start quite strong. Obviously, quite an up and down season in parts, but started really strong. Are you expecting a really strong start again this season?
No. No, I'm not.
That's good to hear.
No, I'm not. And I'll tell you why. And it's... our preseason was fabulous. We went unbeaten, blah, 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 blah. But to me, preseason, their games to game fitness and take a look at fringe players. It's true, and I believe that that's the case. So I'm not gonna cry about the fact that we drew 2-2 with Southampton, and I'm not gonna assume we're gonna win the league because we beat Wolfsburg, right? It just doesn't really matter that much. But our fixture list is brutal. Our opening fixture list is tough. At home to you guys who we beat you once, but you're still very much a bogey team for us. We are Everton's first ever game at their new stadium, which just adds a whole new aura to that game, right? Normally you'd fancy yourselves really tough. Then we have Man City at home, Bournemouth away, Spurs at home, Chelsea away. So that opening 6 are just disgusting, like very, very difficult set of fixtures. So no, I'm not expecting a strong start. And if we have a strong start, whenever we speak later in the year, I'll probably be in a very good mood, because if we have a strong start through that lineup, like, we're in a good spot.
That is a very, very tough start.
The 25-26 season is shaping up to be a big one for Fulham, and one thing you need ahead of it is NordVPN, the fastest VPN on the planet that allows you to watch football matches from wherever you are in the world, on either your phone, your tablet, or your laptop. For instance, you could use NordVPN to watch Premier League matches for a fraction of the price, including those 3 p.m. kickoffs that aren't available in this country. Or if you go on holiday this summer, you can use NordVPN to access your UK TV subscriptions. And right now, you can use NordVPN on up to 10 devices, which means you can share the amazing benefits that NordVPN has with your family or your friends. And you can get a great deal when you sign up to NordVPN at nordvpn.com/Fulhamish. Not only will you get a huge discount, but you'll also get 4 months extra as well. And it's entirely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So to get that special discount plus 4 free months, go to nordvpn.com/Fulhamish. That's nordvpn.com/Fulhamish.
I think Fulham have like a tough start in some ways, but what our start is also really tough because we got 2 derbies within the opening few games. And that just means like Brentford is on paper is not that difficult a fixture in comparison to others. But for us, it's right up there because it's such an important one and is always so tense. And like we did manage to do the double over them this season, but that will be quickly forgotten if we don't manage to do it again. It's a bit, as you say, it's difficult to tell from pre-season friendlies about how things are going to shape up when we get to the pitch on Saturday. But are there a couple of threats that you've seen in pre-season from Brighton that you could pick out as might be dangerous for Fulham on the pitch on Saturday?
Yeah, for sure. Minte has had another fabulous pre-season. He had a really good one last year and then kind of just dropped off. Just didn't look the same player until the new year, and then all of a sudden he resurged. This preseason, he looks like he's evolved somewhat. His first touch is better. When he's running with the ball, it looks like he has control of said ball. Instead of just being like insanely fast, he's fast and controlled, which is scary for opponents. Yeah, he's started electrically in preseason, and he's obviously an incredibly talented kid at right wing. So he would be one. And then the other one, and I think our season hinges on this fella. I was saying on our preseason podcast this weekend, like my hot take is that we will make Europe if Jorginho Ruta plays 30 plus games this season. I think he's fantastic. I think he does everything Pedro does, and I think he'll do it better. I love him. I think he's such a good player, and he will definitely be starting on Saturday, and he will be all over it, I hope, with Welbeck up top.
Interesting. Okay. Your best player or your most dangerous player starting on Saturday and all over it up top. That's not what Fulham fans want to hear, but especially with absolutely no defensive reinforcements coming in the transfer market. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Speaking of hot takes, I'm going to move us on to the final segment of the show, which I'm calling 100 to 1. This is a new segment for the new season. Rather than a score prediction, which maybe feels a little bit tired, we're doing something a bit different this season. A sort of 100 to 1 prediction, a prediction that is really out there, probably won't happen. And if it doesn't happen, who cares? Because we all knew it's going to be unlikely. But if it does happen, then we both look really smart and we can clip it up and put it on socials and shout about how we've got a magic 8 ball and maybe we should play the lottery next week. Josh, could I ask you for your 100 to 1 prediction for this game?
Yeah, I will go with, I'm not sure which one, but one of the keepers gets sent off.
Ooh.
And the defender or whoever goes in goal saves a penalty.
Oh, that would be a lot of fun. I mean, Bernd Leno, our keeper, definitely has had a bit of he's generally quite calm, but he has had moments where he's been a bit aggy on the pitch, so I could see it. And we have got some tall defenders, so maybe. I mean, yeah. The drama, I would love to see that. I'd love to see that.
Donkey loves going in goal when the things get crazy. Verbruggen has never had a red card for us, so like I can't see it happening. But that's why I went with it as the 100-1, because I could. It's just like peak stupid Brighton ballers to have Verbruggen sent off and dunk to save a penalty, and then still probably lose anyway. So that's mine. What about yours?
My 100-1 is that I think Fulham are going to line up with the exact same lineup at the end of last season. I know that logic dictates that that was the last game of the last season and we're not going to have exactly the same players on the pitch. But I just think there is a small chance that if there are a couple of changes, I think Muniz will start even despite the transfer rumours. And I think there is a possibility that a couple of those players fall into place. And I think if that did happen as well, that would be like a really damning indictment on Fulham's board for not making any signings apart from backup goalkeeper. We'll see. But I mean, I hope it isn't the case. I hope we see some better players starting out. But yeah, we will see.
They're too busy with their wrestling promotion. That's the problem.
Famously,
yeah. With AEW, yeah.
Yeah, that is the concern, I think. Yeah, Josh, thank you so much for joining me today. I've had an absolute blast.
Thank you.
And where can people find you?
Yeah, so Together BHA, we record every week on the weekends post-game and just post content whenever, really. So yeah, Together BHA is where to find us.
Amazing. Thank you. And thank you for watching the preview. We'll be back very soon with a post-game podcast show in the middle of the week. And then I'll be looking forward to Manchester United next weekend as well. Come on, you Whites.